All right, perfect. Okay, yay. All right, so tonight we have Triple Diamond Jacquie Wilson, who is going to be our guest speaker tonight. And I'm so excited to hear from her. She went Triple Diamond in a year, and she has some really awesome tips for us, especially from like a distributor hosted post standpoint, and just kind of, being in the business, what keeps her going every single day, day in and day out. So, Jacquie, I'm just going to have you start with telling us a little bit about your story, how you got started. I love when we were kind of chatting back and forth earlier that you touched on that you have a master's degree. I absolutely love that. I think that's something that's super important that we talk about, because all walks of life, like anybody can be successful in this business. Master's degree, no master's degree, stay-at-home mom, working mom, no mom, dog mom, like, you know what I mean? So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been with It Works and how this business has impacted your life from before you started versus now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie. I will say that regardless of, I like to say this when I start, because when I started, I was very introverted and very shy. And I've been in this for 5.5 years. I started in May of 2014. And so I've become more of an extrovert. So regardless of like what your personality is, like Melissa was saying, you could totally rock this out. So January of 2014 is when I first saw a friend of mine, Courtney. She used to work with my husband. She was posting about this on Facebook. And at the time, I didn't really know what It Works was, but I had heard of network marketing. My parents were like in Amway back in the day. And so I really didn't have, I was a very big skeptic. I didn't really have like the best taste of what network marketing was, right? I didn't understand it. And I want you to be clear on that, because when people are skeptics of what you have, it's because they don't understand. They don't understand how this works, right? They've just heard like their best friends, brothers, cousin did this once or something like it, and they didn't have a good experience, whatever, that's all they know. So it's okay when people are skeptics, because that was me. Those people that give you like every excuse in the book of why they can't do this. Those people, they're like, I'm too busy, I don't have enough time, I don't know, I can't be a salesperson. All of that, I gave that all to Courtney. And so when she asked me, I ignored her for a little while. So if you've ever had someone ignore you, it's okay, because that was me. And then I politely wrote her an email, because apparently we emailed back in the day, and told her no, I was not interested, right? And so if you've ever had someone tell you no, it's okay, because I told Courtney no. And I was just really busy at the time. I do have a master's degree in health administration. I was a newlywed. It's just me and my husband and 2 dogs. And I had actually just started a brand new job. And the reason that's important is because it was a job that I had never done before. It required me to travel all over South and Central Florida in my car. Sometimes like 8 hours of the day, I'd be in my car. And the company like created a whole new division for me. So they didn't know what they were doing, and neither did I. And I was supposed to be figuring this out for my full-time job. And so when she asked me, I was like, I'm never going to be home. I can't do in-person parties, because I literally will like get physically ill being in front of people. And so I was like, I don't know how I can do this. And she's like, it's okay, we're going to do social media. Okay. So after watching her for 6 months, because I told her no, she kept posting about the greens and posting about this company, right? And so I kept watching her and stalking her, and I never liked her photos or commented on her photos. I never even said a word to her until 6 months later. After stalking her, I was like, all right, Courtney, what are you doing? And she actually made me wait like 3 days to talk to her. I probably would have signed up that day, because I had been watching her for so long. And so we sat at at the table out here at my house, and we're both very shy and introverted. And so we're like, okay, so like, what do I do now? How do I get started? And she's like, I guess you just go on my computer. Like, that was how it all happened. And so here I started, right? She forced me in my first month, not forced me, but kind of, to have an in-person party at my house, which is the one thing I did not want to do. Ended up signing a loyal customer from it. 2 girls wrapped, 2 of my friends. I had 3 people come. I was so nervous, you guys, that I didn't even collect their wrap cash, because I was so nervous to ask people for money. Like, I just was one of those people that like, probably this shouldn't have worked for me. But I just decided I was going to figure it out. And so the thing about me is that I don't like to fail, right? So I knew that if I slowed down or I stopped or whatever, that people would know that I failed, and I don't fail. So I was like, I'm just going to figure this out. I know I'm super busy, but I'm sure that somehow this has to work. And so I kept going. A month and a half in, I went Ruby, right? So all I was doing was the core 4 that we talk about now. That's what I was doing back when I started. I didn't even know that we were supposed to message or not message, but I'm so impatient that I was like, I know I can post and I can grow my network. At the time, we grew our network on Instagram. Instagram was like, our team talked about Instagram. So from day one, I'd be like brushing my teeth, following people, like any second of the day that I had, because I was in the car so much and in meetings and crazy. And so I just was so excited. People probably, they didn't even know what I was doing. They just were like, what are you doing? You're so excited. I need to know more information. And so I went Ruby in a month and a half. I went Emerald a few months later. And towards the end of that year, because I'd started in May of 2014, was a super busy season for my business, or my full-time job, right? So I'm going into my busy season. And as I'm going in, like I'm still promoting in this company, right? My little side gig, as I called it my side gig because I was too nervous to call it anything bigger than that. And so that December, I kind of had to sit back and be like, all right, I'm at Emerald. I got here. I want to go Diamond. And so there has to be a point where you just make that decision. You're either doing it or not doing it. There's no like half in, half out, because that will pay you like a hobby. And you don't want to get paid like a hobby. You want to get paid like a business, right? If you're on here, I'm assuming you do. And so even though I was super busy, I was like, I got to just figure this out. And so I went like all out massive action, if you've ever heard that phrase. I just tried everything. Anything that they were telling me to do, I was like racking my brain for how can I do more stuff. And even though I didn't have time, promise you I was busy in my car. So we didn't have voice memos back then. So I couldn't do voice memos. So it was like very dangerous to text. But I just was doing this. My husband would tuck me in. He was a server. So he would be up late and he'd tuck me into bed and I'd be like, okay, honey, bye. And he'd leave the room and I'd be like under the covers like this. And he'd come back and I wouldn't see like the little light on my face. And he would get annoyed at me. He's like, why are you still awake? Like you need to go to bed. You have to be up in the morning and drive wherever. And I'm like, hold on. Like they just have to send this last text because someone's asking me to start, like how to start. So I was just doing it all, you guys, in like the nooks and crannies of time. I decided that I was making this a priority and that was just my decision. And then I just went for it. Did I have fear? Heck to the yeah, you guys. Heck to the yes. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of what people were going to think of me because I have my master's degree. I was afraid of what people were saying behind my back. I did have a couple friends talk about me behind my back. It just, at the end of the day, you have to sit back and say, what do I want? Right? What do you want? Because those people that are talking about you, they have their own lives and they're allowed to make their own decisions. And if network marketing isn't for them, cool. But this is yours. So what do you want? I know this business can make me more money than any 9-to-5 out there can make me. So what do you really want? And so that December, made that decision, went Diamond that month, got my $20,000 bonus. A couple months later, went double Diamond, got more bonuses. My husband, I was building my husband. And so he was Diamond when I was double. And at that point I was making more on the side doing this than I was at my full-time job. And so I gave them like a whole month's notice. I was like, I'm leaving. It was just me and one other person doing my position. Like I told you, I was building that for them. And so I gave them a whole month's notice to make sure the transition was easy. And then that was May that I left my job. And then June went triple. And it was amazing. It was incredible. I'd never done anything like this before. No idea what I was really doing, but I just knew my leaders were telling me to do this, 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 and this. And even though I felt all the fear, I decided to do it anyway and go for it. Right. So, it was just incredible. So then, yeah, it was just me and my husband. What else? We got pregnant a few months after that. We had my son. When he came into the world, my husband was able to take like 3 weeks off. We were able to be home with my son. Like I didn't have to worry about anything. My husband actually dropped down to working part-time, went back to get his bachelor's degree because he had never finished it. We didn't have to take out student loans or anything like that. Like this company has given us so much, and it's just been the most incredible ride. So you're right where you need to be. You just kind of have to let that fear go and just go for it.
I love that. Okay. So many good little nuggets there. And I think, I actually had a conversation with a new distributor earlier today who was the same. She's the same, a little bit introverted, but she's very like worried about like what her friends and family will think. And, I think it's really important that we all touch on everybody goes through that part of the journey, right? Especially right in the beginning. Like we're always worried about like what other people are going to say. I know like for me and, I don't have a master's degree, but I have 3 degrees. And so I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm crazy. Like, but then at the end of the day, it's like none of their opinions pay for your bills. And you're going to make more money than probably like all of them combined because you're passionate about what we do. and, are putting your all into it. And I like how you said that you just decided that you were going to go for it and you fit it into the nooks and crannies. And it sounds like you were extremely busy and had all the reasons why you could not be successful. Like you could have taken any of those excuses and really ran with them. But instead you decided to go with it. And triple in a year, I'm like mind blown, because these are with the old charts. Like, I don't even want to know, like, how many DTs was triple on the old charts? Like,
I don't know.
78 or something. It was something crazy. Like, I still have an old big blown up one that I refuse to get rid of, because I'm like, this thing was like like that was goals, and doing that in a year is like, it's so good. So thank you for sharing your story. And I was trying to think, what is your color personality? Is it green?
First is green, second red.
Okay. I was going to say, I was trying to figure out, because, you wanted to go all in, but then I don't see a whole lot of red, but then maybe that came out like as part of, during seasons, like different colors come out, right? So
yeah, I'm very driven and like and competitive in that way. So I like, my green makes me overthink, and then my red kind of is just like smacks it and be like, stop it, just go.
Yes. So. I love that. Okay. And so you started primarily on Instagram. Do you still do Instagram and Facebook, or just mostly Instagram? Where do you work your business most?
Yeah, I do both. I do more as far as like messaging and everything. I do both, but I love Instagram more. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I think I just really like strangers a lot. I was really more comfortable with signing strangers. I always have been, and I don't know. So I love Instagram. And on Instagram, I feel like you can be a little bit more focused. I love Disney, and wearing like a Mickey shirt. So I follow a lot of Disney bloggers and Disney people on Instagram, and it's easy to be more focused on there and who you're following and who you're engaging with. And so maybe that's why I love it. I don't know, but I've always grown that, but I do grow Facebook. I grow Facebook from groups, just in case someone has that question. Like, I go into Disney groups and I just start hitting the add friend button, like 25 at a time, so it doesn't like kick me off or anything. But yeah, I do grow on both. I know I told you I've been doing the distributor host to post. And it was not my ideas. I'm not going to lie. Go to Brittany Hayes' YouTube, and she's got a video on there. It's not too far down. I watched it last month, and I was like, all right. In the beginning, when I went to triple, I did all the things. So I'm going president ambassador, and I need to do all the things again. And so I tried distributor host to post. I've tried to post to post before and was like, about it. But I tried distributor host to post, and I've signed 4 distributors from it in just a couple weeks of doing it. And I have a ton of potentials. So I think it works for me a little bit better on Facebook, maybe just because I haven't found my groove with it on Instagram, but I totally message all on Instagram all over. So
awesome. Okay, so can you walk us through like how you do distributor hosted posts? I know that's something my team hasn't really dabbled into. We do more LC. So like kind of start to finish. I haven't seen the Brittany Hayes video. So how do you like go about it?
Yeah, so we do a little giveaway. It's not big. Some girls on my team wanted to do a giveaway, and I'm like, all right, let's all give in $5 each of us and just see what happens, right? So last month we did a $75 giveaway. It's like enough to entice someone, but not enough, not like too big. I don't know. Sometimes the big ones people are like, you're really giving it away. So we would just post about it, and it would kind of be like, let me see. I guess I can give you like an actual example, but it was something really short and sweet about how I'm doing the giveaway, and like drop your favorite, I don't know, I think last month was like Halloween candy below, right? And so everyone that wanted to enter commented, and then I would go to them, and I guess I can put this wording in the chat, and you could like save it and grab it. I literally got this from her video, so just telling you, I didn't make this up. So I would message them and just be like, hey girlie, got your comment on my $75 cash giveaway. I'm super excited to be able to bless somebody with a little extra this month. To confirm your entry, I just need you to post something on your wall for me. Super simple. I'll send you the post. Are you ready for it? I would say less than half the people actually posted it. So that's good to know, because even though I know they're entering into your giveaway, some people are going to be like, oh, I have to do something, never mind. Or some people are going to get the post and be like, oh, never mind, but I did have a bunch of people post for me and got a ton of potentials from it. And so the post is just something, this is the one I wrote down from her thing. I guess, I can put these in the chat group in a second. I have them on my notes pad. Something simple. This is the one that she had said, and you can just change this to sound like you. Are any of my friends looking for an income working from home. My friend Jackie is looking for 10 people who would like to make an extra 500 to 1,000 plus a month working from their smartphones. Drop an emoji below if you'd be interested and she'll contact you. Very, very simple. And then the photo, I wonder if I can put the photo in the chat here. I'll put it up here and then you guys can see it. Where did it go? Here. This is.
Yeah, you could send it to me too, and I can always send it out as well.
It just says now hiring social media influencers, get paid to post on social media. It's like the same one that she has in her video. Earn commissions plus bonuses, and then my number, and you can text opportunity. So I don't know.
Cute.
It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. I made it on over. It's nothing special because I don't know how to make it super fancy. But I like that it says like earn commissions plus bonuses. And then most of the time when people see this, some of the time they don't get it, but most of the time they're like, okay, how much is it to join? So they kind of already know. They kind of already know what you got going on. And I feel like that's made it a lot easier for me too, to kind of just like get to the point of like what we're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. That's just as easy as and you're just a lot of follow-up.
Yeah.
A lot of follow-up.
Do you do any of that with like Insta stories? I've seen a lot of people start to do it with Insta stories, but I haven't done it.
I've done it a few times. I really haven't delved as much on Instagram into it as much as I am going to. But yeah, so I would do the same thing and just have them post it in their stories and your number's on there. So all they have to do is text you that keyword. And then you can, reply to them, because some people will text me instead of commenting on the post too. So
perfect. Awesome. Okay. And then, so I want to just touch on one thing that you said about Disney, like being like Disney obsessed or whatever, which is awesome. That's like your niche. I think that's so important on Instagram. It's more important on Instagram than it is on Facebook to know what your niche is. So it can be anything. Like mine, when I first started, was police wives. And so when I started my Instagram, I would just go in and I would follow every police wife that I could find. And I found some of my rock stars now, like double diamonds, are police wives. And so like finding that thing that you really are passionate about and then, posting about it every single day, but then, following those people, those are the ones that are going to be attracted to you the most, instead of just blind, like following people on Facebook and Instagram, because nobody really likes that, then that's when you get the, do I know you? But they go to your page and they could see like, I think it's in your bio that you love Disney. It's in my bio that I'm a police wife. So like if I were to go friend request anybody, they could just go look at it and see like, oh, Jackie, she likes Disney too. She must be in my Disney group. Or it'll say like, you're in the same group together. So finding your niche is so important on both Facebook and Instagram. And I think that's something that we definitely don't talk about a lot. So I love that you touched on that. And then can you tell us what your core 4 are that you do every single day? I know you just talked about it a little bit earlier, but what specifically do you focus on?
Yeah. So since the beginning, I was told to post. So that's one of my core 4. I post every day. And I also post on my stories. So I try every single day to have both product and business stories in my stories on Instagram and Facebook. And I also try to have both posts on my Facebook and Instagram. Actually, my Instagram is really my posts, because I only post like once a day, is really only business related. I'm way more looking for distributors at this moment. Like I want to grow my team, and in order to get to the next rank, I got to like fill in all the boxes, and I can't count on anyone else. So I usually have more business focused posts, but like today I posted about the coffee and stuff. So on my Facebook. So posting, right? Because you got to open your doors and put your business out there. I have messaged since the beginning that I started this. I didn't know if that I was supposed to or not supposed to, but I knew that blitz, wrap, repeat was what they used to say back in the day. And what is a blitz? A blitz is just walking up to someone and telling them about the business. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to blitz on social media and blitz in their inbox. And so I just made up my own script. There like wasn't any. And I just would message people and be like, hey, I just started this thing. These girls are quitting their full-time jobs. I don't know if you need something like this, but I would hate to not ask you in case you did. I'm so excited. Would you be open to, more information? Something super simple, very genuine, sounded like me, and it worked. And so messaging for sure. And people always ask me, how much should you message? I would say if you're messaging right now and you're not signing anyone, you need to probably increase your messages and talk to more people. Either that, or you need to be trying more things, right? I still message even when I do distributor host to post, even though like I'm talking to all these people, I'm still messaging and reaching out to new people. And so that was something that like, I think Jade Hooper said one time, and she was like, I get people coming to me. So do I need to message? Maybe not, but heck, if I could still message and get more people and talk to more people, because it's not about It's about growing our teams and like our paychecks, you guys, but you have to think our company is so incredible. These team meetings are so incredible. If you could bring more people in, do you know how much you would change their lives regardless of how long they're with this company? If you have that mindset of like helping other people and bringing them in to like completely change their lives, not just financially, but like their mindsets and everything else, you will never feel like you are annoying people. You will never feel like you are spamming someone. I never feel that way. I genuinely want to help every single person that I message. And that's my mindset when I'm messaging them. And so it never feels wrong to me. And so following up, obviously, fortunes in the follow up. Got to follow up with people like a million jillion times. It's fine, you guys. I follow up with people like 14 times in a row and they haven't responded to me. It's not always like, hey, you ready? Hey, you ready? It's like, hey, how was your weekend? Or like, hey, happy birthday. Or I saw you went on that trip. It looked awesome, you know, and even if they don't respond to me, it's okay. I'm gonna still follow up with them again. What was the last one? Growing your network. There's 4. So growing your network. And I've always, we were taught to grow on Instagram back in the day. And now I go to groups on Facebook too and grow that way. And just like you were saying, sometimes still people are still like, hey, do I know you? And it's so easy because you can just be like, oh my gosh, I must have clicked something, but it looks like you're in my Disney group. Are you a pass holder? And it's so easy for me to start the conversation and then they immediately friend me. So yeah, that's my core forward.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I have to tell you, because I started in 2014 too. To this day, when I hear the word blitz, I still like shudder. So I love that you said blitzing is messaging, because when I think of blitzing, I think of like handing out that blitz card to strangers. And I've never been good at that. I would have, like, sometimes I would do it at like restaurants if like the, you know, waitresses were amazing. And I'd be like, you have such great customer service. Here you go. And then I'd write like a little note on there. But it's so funny because blitz, wrap, repeat was all we focused on back in 2014, 15, and probably even 16. But you jumped on that messaging bandwagon like way before everyone else. So I love that. But it is about numbers. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then do something different. So like if you're sending the same message over and over again and nobody's responding, then you need to send a different message. And at the end of the day, when you say it's like a numbers game, right? It really comes down to how many people you're talking to every day, how many people you're adding to your network every day, how many people you're following up with every day. Because what we do is not hard, right? It's just you have to be disciplined. You have to be motivated, self-motivated, I should say, because everybody's motivated. Everybody wants to make money, but self-motivated, time management, all that good stuff. So post, message, follow up, and grow your network. So love all of that. Okay, so what has been your biggest setback with this business? Because what has it been, 5.5 years? There's got to be something in there somewhere. So tell us what your biggest setback was, and then like how did you push through that to continue to work your business?
Yeah, so I had some really, really good momentum up until I got to Triple Diamond. And I still was like maintaining and everything, but I always said like, okay, I have triple and then I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to have baby. Like that was literally my mindset. And so I did it. And then I never really, like, even though I know ambassadors where I want to go, it wasn't really like a decision like, okay, now I'm at triple. Now I keep pushing to Prez. It was kind of like, well, I set my goal and I accomplished it. And I didn't really have a goal beyond that. And so what I would say is always have a goal beyond where you even think that you want to go, because even like Joel and Stephanie, I mean, hello, they're black diamonds. There's not really even another level, maybe like double black diamond, I don't know, but they always have different personal things that they're probably doing with that money, giving back in some way or whatever they're doing. They have higher goals. And that is why they continue to sign people and continue to grow and like continue the momentum, is because they're always reaching for another level, even before they hit that like level they thought was like their dream level. So when you continue to reach higher, that was probably one of the things that I feel like set me back the most in business.
And I was just thinking, when you were talking about that, it brought me back to just something what you said a minute ago too, was like how you're distributor focused now. And I think that's so important because so many people are not distributor focused, but when you look at like the top income earners, they're top distributor enrollers, because this business isn't about, and Joel and Stephanie Dunn are still top enrollers. Like they enroll every single day, like multiple people a day. So they're black diamond, probably almost double black diamond, like you said, but they're still enrolling. They're still doing the work. But this business is about getting a lot of people to sell a little bit of product. It's not about getting a little bit of people to sell a lot of product. So the more people that you get on your team to sell a little bit of product and do their core four every day, that's how you really start to make the big bucks with this company. It's all about distributor enrollment. So I think that's super important that you touched on that, and that's what you're focused on right now to get to presidential and ambassador, because that's what's going to take you there, and then teaching your team to do the same, right? And I think we get so stuck in like we have to get volume, volume, volume. But if you get lots of DTs that can each get their 4 customers, that volume is like right there.
The fastest way to grow volume is by signing distributors.
Yes.
Because it's not just you and your 5 people on your team getting the volume, it's more people, right? You're signing more and more and more people, and they're all going to be able to contribute to the volume.
Yes, definitely. Perfect. So I'm pulling up our questions again. Okay, so
something you said just before that, like, I was just listening, I've been listening to Atomic Habits. It's a book, an audiobook. And he was because you were talking about quantity, right? Or like you were talking about the numbers game. And so this morning he was talking about how people are so focused on quality. So I think people focus so much on like, I want to make sure I have the most perfect script in the world before I send it out. And then, I want to make sure that I'm looking at their profile to make sure that they fit all the things. And like, yeah, if someone's got like profanity or like some craziness, of course, I'm not unfriending them. They don't even need to be in my network, but I'm not trying to be perfect because I'm not perfect. I'm trying to reach the most amount of people so I can tell the most amount of people how they can change their life. And he was talking about how people focus on quality instead of quantity. And I think that's such an important thing to know, is that like, there's no way Courtney would have never known that I would need this, right? Like I'd probably am not the I don't know, model person that would do network marketing, but you just never know. You never know who your next rock star is going to be. So it's all about touching as many people as you can and planting the seeds, not necessarily to get the yes right away, but just to plant the seeds so that they can come back to you later when they're ready.
And you never know who's catching those seeds either. You literally have no idea who is watching and who, like you said, you never liked or commented or did anything, but your interest was piqued. And so that's really important with putting yourself out there every single day too, like presenting the business every day. Like I'm the same as you. Like if you look at my Instagram, it's all business opportunity. Like, but you wouldn't look at my Instagram and think it's business. You'd have to actually like read each of the captions. Sorry, I totally just lost my train of thought because my kids are like downstairs. But yeah, no, that's good. And then what is something what do you do for self-development? Because self-development's kind of been a huge like mind shift in our company probably in the last year-ish, 6 months to a year. What's your favorite thing to do?
Yeah. So when I first started the business, I was, like I said, in the car all the time for like hours out of the day. And back then we didn't have Zoom, but they did do YouTube videos. And so I just was like, I'm in the car, I might as well listen to some YouTube videos. And so I was listening to YouTube videos of top incomers of the company all the time for hours out of the day. And I didn't realize I was doing self-development because I didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew like their stories were there and there were tips there. And so I was getting it all the time. And so that like fueled my fire every single day. I have people telling me what they're doing and how they're doing it and that they're doing it, so therefore I can do it too. And so that literally was my fire all the way to the top. And then I feel like when I got there, that was one thing that I did stop doing when I got to Triple, was self-development. Because I wasn't in the car all the time. I didn't have the job anymore, that I had. So I stopped doing it. And that was probably a huge contributing factor, now that I'm thinking about it, to, me not getting to Pres right away, was because I wasn't doing it anymore. And my brain I wasn't training my brain. Like if you stop going to the gym, you're going to lose muscle. Like it's just normal. It's just a fact. So if you stop doing self-development, then your mindset's going to fall backwards. And that like awesome place that you got yourself to is going to be distracted by all the things in the world and all the people telling you whatever. And life is just going to come distract you. And so self-development has been huge, huge, huge for me. And so I do the Rachel Hollis Start Today Journal. If you've never heard of it, you can go to her podcast. It's called Rise, and I don't remember which number it is, like 73 or something. I don't know. And she talks about how to do the Start Today Journal, and you can just do it in like a notebook. And so basically every single day I sit down here, whatever time, 5 a.m, I wake up when it's quiet, and I'll do my journal, and I'll write down 5 things I'm grateful for, small things like watching the sunrise or drinking my hot coffee, just small things, listening to my son like giggle the night before or something we were doing. And then I'll write down 10 dreams every single day, the same dreams. same things, unless I need to change it because it doesn't make sense, as if they've already happened. So like, not, I want to be a top 20 income earner. I am a top 20 income earner, or I have a 6-figure, savings account, or whatever it is. And so every morning I'm reminding myself why I'm getting up that early, why I'm sitting here, why I'm about to go message people, how I'm going to change their life with this business. And so refocus, I feel like that should have been my word for the year, you guys, because that is what I've been doing every single day. So I refocus my brain, sometimes multiple times a day, to be like, okay, where am I going and what do I need to do? Because we always focus on the how, right? Everyone focuses on the how. How am I going to get there? How is it going to happen? How is the momentum going to come? But you need to focus on what do you need to do and why are you doing it? And so I listened to Rachel Hollis's podcast, Rise. I listened to Ed Milet. He's probably my favorite one. I don't know, there's so many great books. The Compound Effect is probably one of my favorite books that I've read. I think I've read it like 3 times. And You Are a Badass book, I think I've read 2 or 3 times too. I'm reading Atomic Habits right now. It's pretty good. It's similar to The Compound Effect and talking about how to change your habits to like change your life basically. And it's really good. So I know some people need sermons. Some people need all different kinds of stuff, and you just kind of have to figure out like what works best for you. I still watch training videos. I love all of Kelly Brown's videos that she talks on. They're all amazing. Someone asked about cold message. You may answer that. Am I skipping around? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrel.
I was just going to say, we love us some Kelly Brown. Kelly Brown's one of my closest friends. Love some Kelly Brown. If you ever need an uplifting, watch Kelly Brown video. She's amazing.
The one that she did with Cheyenne, I think I've watched that like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah. And that one hit home like on so many different levels. Like I'll share it with our team on here because it was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so April said, do you cold message? And if so, what do you say? So we know you message. So do you cold message people every day?
So I hate calling it cold messaging because they're already in my network. So therefore, to me, it's warm messaging. If they're in my network and you're on my Facebook or you're on my Instagram and you're seeing my stuff and you know what I do because I post every single day about the business or the products. So at that point, it's not cold messaging. So if they're not in my network and I'm not friends with them, I don't message them. Like I wouldn't just go on Instagram and just pick random people. Do you know what I mean? I say that, and I'm not, April, love you. The reason I say is because I know that some people are like so nervous to message and they think that it's a cold message, and so many different people in the company have all their different opinions, and that's fine. But like I said, back in the day, they called it blitz, wrap, repeat, and I'm just blitzing online. So that's just how I think about it. And I've signed so many people from messaging. If Courtney wouldn't have messaged me, I wouldn't be here. So you just have to ask people, just, you can call it asking instead of messaging if that makes you feel better, but you're just asking, you're just giving them the information and putting it on them, and they can take it or leave it. Doesn't really matter. Eventually they'll come back to you. But that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. And the more people you ask, I learned this, like my very first green carpet, my husband and I went to, and I just joined this business. My upline quit like right after, and literally like a week after I joined, she quit. And so I dragged my husband to this green carpet, and back then it was Major Jones, and she had been speaking on stage about, I don't know if it was necessarily cold messaging, but it was like asking a lot of people about the business or the products. And she always said, behind every no is a yes, and behind every no is your next rock star. So like, you want to go for, like, you want to message as many people as you can and get used to hearing no, because when you hear yes, then you know that that's like the right person, or I don't know if that's like really the right way to say it, but we always say like, go for the no. Like the more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get because you're messaging more people. And if you expect to get the no and then you get that yes, you're like, whoa, like, that could be your next rock star. But if you're not messaging anybody, you're not going to get anybody. So I think, and this is me personally, and you can say what you think, but if you're not messaging, then your business isn't going to grow because people aren't going to come to you. It's very rare that they will come to you. And if they do come to you, it's usually somebody who's been in network marketing before or kind of understands the business, or maybe, dabbled in other things. But I know for me personally, every single person that I've ever brought on to my team has been somebody that I've personally reached out to. So you definitely can't wait for them to come to you. Message. Yeah. And it's not, like you said, it's not cold messaging.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of feel I almost feel selfish, honestly. I know what this has done for me. I know what this has done, even if it hasn't done anything for you yet. It's done, you can hear me, and I'm telling you, this has done things for so many people in this company if you let it, if you're open to it. And so, why wouldn't I tell all these people about it? That doesn't mean I have to take it, but why wouldn't I tell them to let them come into this environment where we not only, it's not just about selling distributors and customers. You guys see that, right? It's about growing your mindset and becoming the best version of you. And we teach that in this company. Not every company teaches that, but we teach it. And so I want everyone to come in here and be able to grow themselves, regardless of how long they stay with the company or whatever happens in their life. Like if they can just come in for a minute and just be a change, even a little bit from this, then I've done my job. So
I love that. That's such a good perspective. I love that. April said she gets nervous and giggly when going live. So any advice on that?
I get nervous too.
I do too.
I've done it so many times, so I don't get as nervous. That's the only, honestly, answer that I have. And that's with anything, right? The first few times, or the first freaking probably 1,000 times I messaged, I got nervous. Doesn't make me nervous anymore because I've done it so many times. So, but when I first started going live, I will tell you this, I had to make notes for myself, like bullet points, and I would like put them over there so you couldn't really see them behind the screen. And so if it was keto coffee, I'd have like the main bullet points just in case like my mind blanked, because it did and I didn't know what to say. I would have all my little bullet points there. And so that's kind of what I did at first. But you can go live with something not it works related. I don't know what your thing is. Some people do hair, makeup, or I don't know, whatever. But you can go live just about something that you are passionate about or that you like doing, and it doesn't have to be it works. And then it's just practice, right? It's getting that practice in. So
I agree. And I think that sometimes like people like the hot mess lives more than they like the put together lives. Like you'll get, like for me, I'm like, I'll get so many likes and shares on a live where it's like I'm in my pajamas and my hair's in a bun and I'm like, I make my coffee at 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Versus like trying to be all put together,
yeah.
I always tell my husband, I'm like, this is my alter ego. Like, I'm going to get myself ready for like a video conference or like a video thing. But then like in reality, I'm in sweats all day with the hair in a bun, like no makeup on. Yeah. But people like those lives more, because you're relatable. They don't want to see made up, like, whatever.
I went live making pumpkin bread with my son the other day. And April said she's a boy mom. I had all the ingredients there and I've turned the thing on and we just like did pumpkin bread and just said hi to people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like something super simple like that.
Yeah, anything. We have a girl on our team. I don't know if she's on Nashta. She cooks. Oh, she's not on, but she does keto cooking and she got like 3,000 views on like one of her videos and it was like out of nowhere. And it was just like the most random cooking video ever. But yeah, I mean, you just have to do it. You just have to put yourself out there. Don't worry about what other people think. Who cares what other people think? Everybody has an opinion. But it doesn't matter because those opinions don't pay your bills. And if they don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. I went live yesterday with my daughter unwrapping a present. And one of my mom's friends commented, this live is too long. And I was like, delete. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? No skin off my back. So you just got to practice, just like Jackie said. Like, practice makes perfect. The more you put yourself out there, the easier
you can do a short video. Tell them that you're doing the long video.
Yeah, like, whatever. All right, perfect. So what is one last piece of advice? So first of all, I want you guys to ask if there's anybody that has any more questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. But I want to ask Jackie, what is one last piece of advice that you would give to the 28 people that are on here and everybody who's going to watch the replay for finishing this year strong and getting through November and December and going into conference? Because conference is massive.
Yes. Conference is the reason that I decided I was going to go triple. Like literally I got there and I went at the time. Green carpet was 3 times a year. Do you remember that back in the day? We went in July and then my husband came with me in October. I don't know how I got him to go, but he did. And then, yeah, we went to a conference and I like bawled my eyes out because Mark is amazing. So two small things. One, do the self-development, you guys. Take me seriously. It is so life-changing. If you can get your mind in the right spot, then none of the fears will matter. Literally, it's almost like magic where it just lifts all the fear away because you know that as you are, you're amazing and you're perfect. And that kind of ties into my tip is just to be you. We kind of talked about earlier, like I'm a Disney person. I don't care. I love it. And it doesn't matter if someone likes it or doesn't. I'm bringing in people that, you know, relate to me, and we have so much fun together because we can talk about, you know, be Disney nerds together, and it's just amazing. And so when you're you, you're going to bring the right people in, and you're going to seem genuine and all the things. So just be you. If you don't wear a lot of makeup, cool. It doesn't matter. If you want to have a mom bun, cool. Or you want to put makeup on and like look amazing every day, then do that. Like do you and just be you, and people will love you for the person that you are. But then just, you know, continue to grow and like be the best version of you.
Oh, I love that. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight. You are the sweetest. I loved your story. And just thank you for just being so like transparent and just real and raw. And this was your journey, and this is what's helped, and your core four, and just all good stuff. I took tons of notes with a Sharpie or with a Crayola, because I am a mom of 3 under 6. And that's all I could find at the last minute. So this is me. But thank you, Jackie, so much. I will send you the replay. You're absolutely amazing. For everybody who's on, family call starts in 15 minutes. Make sure you hop onto that. And then last couple hours to get the free carb control with your distributor kit if you're in the US, or coffee if you're in Canada. So for the next 15 minutes, make sure you're sending out those follow-up messages to get those DTs on. It's also double points, I believe, for new DTs until tonight. So we'll see you guys on the family call. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.